Zut alors, it's Bastille Day, so this morning we're making a French classic. Well, we're eating it, he's making it.
That's right. Tommy Butler from the Radisson Blu Royal Hotel on Dublin's Golden Lane is joining us.
Bonjour,
Thomas.
Tommy.
Bonjour, comment ça va aujourd'hui? Ça va passe bien?
Yeah, good too.
8 months working in Paris in the kitchen?
Oui, 8 mois.
Really?
Fluent in French?
Oh, wow.
Oui.
So we'll do the
Ça va
entire
passe bien.
segment in French.
Si tu veux.
Si tu veux. Huh?
And
Eh bien, on
somebody will
commence avec une
translate it on
poêle, avec des
subtitles.
pommes. Okay, we'll go back
Okay,
to
so
normal. Back to
we're
normal, back
making
to
the
normal.
classic
Back
French
to normal.
dessert, isn't it?
Classic French dessert, yeah. They say that this dessert was... There's a couple of old myths about this dessert. Like, it's a tatin, it's an upside-down apple tart. So there's a couple of old stories that they made it one day and the woman who was making it went off to check something and then she came back and the apples were burning and she was like, oh, jeez. She got the pastry, threw it on top and threw it into the oven and just baked it that way. And there's another one saying that somebody had it and they went to put the pastry on and they dropped it. And they just served it like that.
Well, either way, God
the lid
bless them
fell
for
off.
it.
Fair play to them.
Yeah.
Either way, it's a win-win.
And there's a million different variations on this, but this is the classic.
There's hundreds. Apple is the classic, yeah. You can do anything, as I said. We were talking earlier, Simon. I mean, you can do a pear, you could do a pineapple if you want to go crazy. Like, even for savoury dishes, like myself, I've done shallot tatans and red onion tatans, where you just half the tatin, you just caramelize it. Okay. And you can put a little bit of foie gras inside it, and you can go crazy all together if you want.
Okay, next.
Anyway,
Here, we do that.
Meanwhile, back to the apples.
Yeah, back to the apples. So what I've got here is about 150 grams of butter, 150 grams of sugar. You put that into a pan, just cold. Then what you do is you half and core out your apples and you basically layer them around.
Before you heat the pan?
Before you heat the pan.
You see.
Now, you can heat the pan as well if you want, but again, it's a bit safer to put it in. If you're like, you can also burn the butter. You don't want it to be too dark when it starts, because the idea is that you start to caramelize the apples very early.
I tried to make a tatin about a month ago and I had 3 failed attempts because I put the sugar and the butter and waited. And I said, well, I store it. No, you don't store it, you leave it. No, I will store it.
Yeah, because what happens is it splits and then you have the butter. You have the butter on top and you have the sugar on the bottom.
Gotcha. Anyway, so we have the sugar, the butter, the vanilla.
So you put them in for about 10 to 15 minutes. Not too long. Again, I'm using Granny Smith apples. So again, these have been in now for about 10 to 15 minutes. I'm just going to give you a little taste of these.
Is it important what type of apple you use? Do you want something to hold its shape?
You want something that's going to hold its shape, yeah. And as you can see, like this here now, it's been here, but I'm going to show you the base. And so the top is nicely cooked down. It's nicely starting to stick there at the bottom, which is what you want, you know, like this guy here now. Oh, let me pull this fella out.
Now be very careful with this, because this is hot. Of course,
yeah, you've got sugar and butter. Yeah, you've got sugar and butter, so...
I burnt it up.
What's that? Didn't feel that at all. Yeah. So for the top of this, you can use short crust pastry or any type of pastry you want. I'm using puff pastry for this because I personally, this is the way I was trained years ago. It's one of the first desserts I made in kitchens years ago. So then what you do for your pastry, you take a plate, you make sure your plate is slightly bigger than your pan. Okay? And there, you pop your plate down, very straightforward on your pastry. You can buy this pastry anywhere now these days. It's great, you know. Any of the big supermarkets.
Was this one of the dishes that was on the menu you were trying in France?
It wasn't, actually. Never saw it in France.
Really?
Ridiculous, yeah.
But it is very traditional.
Absolutely, yeah, it is very traditional. So then from here, now being very careful, now this is where you have to be very careful, just pop off your pastry, just like that. Then from here, all you want to do is just cover your pan. Okay. Just like that.
Simple as.
Very simple as. Now, from there, you just want to tuck your pastry in.
And you want that pastry to get down to the bottom of the pan?
You want to get down to the bottom of the pan, yeah. Because what's
so you're basically sealing in the apple.
You're basically sealing it in, yeah, absolutely. And just be careful, as I said, with your fingers, because you've got hot caramel in there. It's around 80, 90 degrees. So again, you want to keep your paws intact, of course. So you just tuck it in. Don't be afraid about the edges, because what's going to happen is it's going to cook away.
That's going to crisp up anyway, beautifully.
Absolutely. So that's step one.
Do you need a hole in it?
Absolutely. Like any pastry, you know what you do is you kind of dock it, or you create a little hole for the steam to come out. Otherwise, you're going to have steamed apple, and the apple's going to collapse.
Melt. Yeah.
So you just want to do just a few holes, just like that, just for the air to escape.
Okay.
That's it. Very simple.
Okay. And did you buy that pastry, or did you make that yourself?
I bought that pastry, yeah, so it's just as handy.
So you're preheating an oven to what?
Preheating oven to about, it's about you want to go 180 for puff pastry, because again, it's a puff pastry needs, there's lots of layers between puff pastry. You want it to rise as much as you can, so you can create the air gaps between the butter and the flour and everything.
Okay, so preheat it to 180, and how long do you cook it for?
And it goes for about 20 to 25 minutes, depending on your oven.
And that's been on the pan for 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah, absolutely. That's been on for about 15, 20 minutes. Again, it depends what kind kind of way you like your actual apples. You can have them really caramelised, again, so you maybe use a little bit less sugar, or if you use a bit more sugar, like them tart or bitter or sweet, whatever way you want.
Okay.
Then when it comes out, absolutely choices. When it comes out, you have this. So again, the pan's quite hot now. So again, now this is where you have to be very careful because again, you're dealing with hot caramel, you're dealing with hot apples. Yeah. So again, so you need to work kind of quickly here because what happens is the apple actually starts to set. So you need to move quite well. And so what we're going to do, take your plate, flip your plate.
This is where you think, was this a good idea to do it on live television?
Oh, sure, look, here we go.
We're about to find out, Tommy.
Don't take any risks.
No pressure, son.
Pan down, just like that. And then from
Confidence,
there,
Tommy.
So hold it firmly on the base. And then from there, just turn it very slowly. And there, just put it down and just give it a second. You don't want to lift up the pan straight away because again,
even though you're very tempted to see,
just needs to relax. So
looks.
you just the best way to do it is to lift it up slowly and
Stop
say a
the
prayer.
lights, Tommy. Stop the lights.
And here we go.
Oh, wow. And you just have the whole vanilla...
Leave the vanilla in there.
goes?
Yeah, absolutely. You leave the vanilla in there. You can put cinnamon in there. You can put any type of spice you want in there.
Now, could you take the seed out of the pod and put it into the sugar and butter mix, and if you want to leave the pod in there?
Oh, of course, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can take it out. You can do again. It's very much what your own
Personal
specific
choice.
Personal choices are. You know.
And what would you traditionally serve that with then?
Traditionally, I would serve this just as I hear. This would traditionally go with vanilla ice cream,
Look at
or
that.
a little bit of you know, I have here a little bit of
Make
custard.
room. Make way.
Custard, yeah.
Some space here.
Some regular
Allez,
cream.
allez, allez.
A little bit of I have a little bit of creme anglaise here, which is basically fresh vanilla custard. You know. And
So you've got fresh cream here with some berries.
fresh cream
and
here
you've
with
got
some
creme
berries.
anglaise.
I have a little bit of mint. I have some fresh berries, just because again, there's the sweetness, the tartness, the raspberry goes quite well with it.
You should have put a bit of thought into it, Tommy. I mean, you just
I know. It's so lazy, you know. Getting up on Sunday morning,
Throwing it together.
Can't believe it.
But despite the beautiful presentation, it's a relatively easy dish, isn't it?
It is simple. I think it's one of those things that takes practice. Again, people are afraid because it's a pan and they're cooking on the pan. You want to take your time, relax. Again, start it from cold if you're not confident.
Yes.
And then as you get more confident, you can make your butter a bit brown and caramelise it a bit more.
And then put your apples in.
Then you put your apples in. So again,
We
like,
have to take our time waiting to eat it.
oh no, okay, so go on. I suppose I better give you some.
Patience is
I'll
not
be
a
attacked
virtue
here now.
here.
I can feel the energy
In
here.
this studio, Tommy, patience is a dirty word, isn't it?
Going to go crazy.
And you're going,
Yeah, that's the creme anglaise,
now
is
I'll
it?
go a bit of cream on my... Oh, he's
little
already
bit of
lashed it on. Look, you'll have to have both those slices now.
You don't want to leave it now, do you?
Yeah, no,
look,
she's
we'll
ruined
do
it for
separate
me.
slices of you, Simon.
I just
There you
ruined
go.
it.
Yeah,
We'll
shocking.
try it with the vanilla too.
Right.
Yeah, there we go, guys.
Thanks, Tom.
Tuck in.
Let's get the expert opinion out.
You go that one there,
Sorry.
Aidan, because that's the creme anglaise. Get a bit of the pastry, Aidan.
It's a nice simple dessert. It saves making all the extra pastry and making it, put another lid on. Again, it should be a nice balance
Silence.
of sugar and vanilla and syrup and a little bit of crust on the pastry as well for a little bit of bite.
Tom, that's beautiful.
Oh, my
Taking a box.
I do like my mother's apple tart, but sorry, Mammy,
Don't say
that's
I'll be
amazing.
you're getting me in trouble now. Don't be saying that's going to stuff in live TV.
Ah, Tom, that's fab.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
That is absolutely très magnifique.
Très magnifique. Merci bien.
Merci, chef.
Merci bien.
As
Rien.
always, the full recipe details are up on our website, so you can check it out there. Or if you want to avoid the kitchen altogether, just head into Tom in the Radisson on Dublin's Golden Lane to try everything for yourself.